Hey, what's going on, guys? Dom here, and I've kind of been gone for a while, and that kind of has to do with the setup of everything. I moved things around, got a whole new laptop, and if you guys didn't notice, I am now recording in 30 frames per second. No one really mentioned it before, but I was definitely recording in 24 frames per second because of the limitations of the computer that I had. But that isn't a thing now, so I feel a lot better about it, and now we have a lot better quality now. I'll probably be able to upload videos a lot faster than I was before. Using a computer that was strictly for school, trying to upload videos was not a good idea, but that is a thing of the past. So today what we're going to be looking at is an article that PokeJungle posted. Now regarding PokeJungle, I have about 5 years of experience in Japan, and more often than not, when something comes out with Pokemon and it's in Japanese, I have to ask like a Japanese friend to translate it for me if I want to give it to you guys, something along those lines. But since I've been using PokeJungle for this channel after I think about a month or two, I never have to ask my friends anymore because PokeJungle is usually spot on. Um, the writer Paul, he actually has probably about more experience than I do in Japan, so that's awesome. And we're gonna take a look at this article and see what exactly it's talking about. It's definitely the big topic about the whole National Dex conundrum, so we'll jump right into it. So this is not news, which is awesome, but of course, new information is always coming out when you look into things. In fact, it's already almost a month old. Many fans have already read this Famitsu article, however, which is why I've decided to do some new translations and hopefully share more of the thought process behind Pokemon Sword and Shield's controversial choice to not include compatibility with all the species of Pokemon. In an interview with Junichi Matsuda and Shigeru Omori, Famitsu talks about the fervor caused by the comments at the E3 Treehouse presentation, during which Masuda revealed the disheartening news. So, after talking about how they wanted to focus on quality animations over quantity of Pokemon, Omori reveals that even during the production of Pokemon Sun and Moon, it was difficult to animate all the Pokemon and include them in their entirety. He goes on to say that since the hardware was changing for the next games, they had to remake all of the models, which could mean that they had to rework all the 3DS models to properly work on the Switch. Wow, guys, that is a tough task right there. If I'm reading it correctly, and if it's true, I'm unsure, but that sounds pretty daunting. I know it takes time to get models, and especially models of almost 800, well over 800 Pokemon into a game. That's pretty tough. They were forced to make a choice of which Pokemon would be able to appear in Sword and Shield. He goes on to state that he believes that once players experience the features in Sword and Shield, such as the wild area and story, they will understand the scope of the project and recognize why Game Freak had to limit how many Pokemon they included. Masuda assured fans that they were going to make great efforts to ensure that even if a Pokemon didn't appear in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they would appear in an upcoming title, and no matter what, Pokemon Home would be available for them while they wait. So Pokemon Home is probably going to be here to stay, guys. It's probably going to be around for a decent amount of time, well into the next generation of games, into past Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it'll be our thing for a little while. When asked whether or not Pokemon who appear in Sword and Shield would be able to appear in future titles since their models had already been complete, Masuda answered that the team was still looking into the possibilities. Now that's a strange thing for me to think about. For you to put a lot of time into animating the new, let's say, Dreadnought. You can animate Dreadnought, give him all this stuff. You gave him a Gigantamax form, and then you're saying it's a possibility that he'll be in the next games. I guess. He went on to say that battle mechanics such as Mega Evolution and Dynamaxing that affected many Pokemon would be difficult to implement, even if the graphical work had already been done. Okay, I guess that kind of answers what I was saying just then, but it does raise a few more questions. Masuda continued that he hopes Home will be truly viewed as such, with Pokemon taking trips out to certain titles but returning to the app for storage. If a Pokemon isn't compatible with a game that, for example, had a cold atmosphere that didn't suit them, it might be like them saying the place is too cold, I'm going to sit this one out. Okay, so that is a very interesting concept, because if you guys were think about it, biomes are a thing. Habitats are definitely a real thing. So it seems like the wild area is playing to that. You'll obviously find water Pokemon, That's always been a thing. Water Pokemon in water, grass Pokemon in the grass, wherever. We see Tyranitar walking around a desert in one of the Sword and Shield trailers. So if a Pokemon doesn't fit into a specific biome or it has no place in the world, it's what they're saying that's probably the reason why it wouldn't make it. That's to me that sounds strange because you're saying that it's either it has is it either or is it both? Is it because of the number of animations you have to do, or is it actually because of the whole biome thing, or are you just using the biome thing as a way to say that this is adding on to it? It's a strange thing to talk about, to be honest with you. Because there's so many reasons, but if you give too many reasons to anything, like in almost any conversation, it'll come off like you're trying to give excuses, to be honest with you. So which is what it's coming off. I guarantee someone's gonna say that's just giving us excuses. But he also said that they wanted to add features to home that allow you to do things with your Pokemon even if they're simply being stored in the app. He also teased the possibility of adding home compatibility with spin-off titles by saying that the team was already thinking about it and would likely consider it in the future. So regarding that, so spin-off titles, hope possibly. Now here's the thing about this app. I'm not sure how much space this app is going to take up, but let's say 500 Pokemon make it into Sword and Shield. So then that means there's other 300 Pokemon that we're aware of and the other Pokemon that are new coming in Sword and Shield that are going to be added into the roster. 500 that are in the games, and then 300 plus that are going to be in home. And then you're saying that you're going to have some type of thing where you can not necessarily, it doesn't really say play with them, but things to do. What is that? If that includes animations, wouldn't that be more animations for you to make? I guess you have more time to flesh this out because it's coming out past Sword and Shield. But it sounds like more work. Will you take those animations, if there are animations in home, like if you're feeding a Pokemon? Will you take those animations and put them into the future titles, or will you completely remake new models? And then we'll be back into the cycle of you saying, well, we have to remake new models to add them into the next game, and people are easily going to say, well, there's already models in home, why not just use those models? And they're going to say, no, we can't do that. And it sounds like they're kind of putting themselves in another loop of just being battered with these protests about which Pokemon do make it and don't. So I want to see how that turns out. The rest of the interview just goes over features that were revealed last month, but some of the details above are important to keep in mind during discussions about upcoming titles. So you guys should just definitely check out PokeJungle's Discord. He's pretty cool. Check him out on Twitter. Give him a follow. He's a pretty cool guy. Burr, colder than his shoulder Cerebi gives me. Oh, okay, nice little joke. I wonder if Joe knows about that. You'll probably see it. But guys, definitely check out PokeJungle because the translations are top tier. They definitely most likely have someone on their team who is Japanese or speaks fluent Japanese, so they're definitely worthwhile checking out. Regarding this is another translation, just an amazing translation of something we already knew, but it adds some more depth to it regarding the home thing with the compatibility of the spin-offs. I'm curious as to how that's going to work, because Game Freak does not handle the spin-offs for Pokemon. Historically, it's been like Creatures or someone else. I believe the XD Gale of Darkness Coliseum games were someone else, and they had like HAL Laboratories on other games. There's a few other companies that have worked on them. I can't remember. They're not coming to me right now, but they're definitely more than that. But that's pretty interesting. How would the spin-off titles work? Because now it got me thinking of XD Gale of Darkness, because they did have the possibility of taking the Pokemon from the purified Lugia and bringing it over to the actual game to where you can get the Lugia in the Generation 3 games, and that would be pretty awesome. I can't wait for that to actually become a thing. I want to see what this home thing's about. Are we going to get simple sprites? You feed a Pokemon and the little heart fills up, kind of like what's that called? Pokemon Go in the gyms. You feed it, it just sits there and the heart fills up. Or are we going to get actual full animations with Pokemon running around? You guys remember Pokemon Ranch, where if you filled up the entire ranch, you got like a free Mew? Is it going to be something similar to that, downscale to where it's like the sprites aren't super intricate, that's going to be something I can't wait to see. I definitely want to see how this turns out. But I think that'll do it for this video. I definitely have a lot more ideas of things that I want to do in the future now that I have this new laptop. I don't have that limitation that I had before. So I'm definitely going to start working on things that may take a longer period of time, but I'll also be keeping up with the rumors and the news and all that other stuff. And Nintendo Switch Lite came out, so that's another thing, but I'll have those thoughts in another video. But I think that'll do it for this video, guys. Dom out.